One other thing that I'm curious about, because of course I'm looking at the entirety of the midterms and along the way critiquing the Biden administration leading up to it. So you've described a lot of what you're gonna focus on in terms of talking to potential constituents, a lot of what you wanna push for. In terms of the context of the election, what are some of the things that you would like to see the Biden administration, national Democrats do that, assuming in the near future you make it through the primary, that would ease the way towards a win in the general election? Like you talked about student loan debt. Would you want Biden to announce a cancellation? Are you eagerly seeing if there will be any voting rights legislation, or if they will end up passing the reconciliation bill? What are some of the political context from the national Democratic side that might influence your race?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, Texas has a huge challenge because we're one of the most diverse states in the country, but we're seeing that Democrats who have traditionally relied on the Hispanic vote and the Latino vote in Texas have been losing ground there. And part of the reason that they've been losing ground is because they're not delivering on basic Democratic, platforms that they've been campaigning on. So let's go to start with Build Back Better. Before it left the House and got to the Senate, right? This is House Democrats where we have a majority. They passed Build Back Better in the House, remember. They gutted that. There's no expansion of Medicare to include, for example, dental coverage. So if you are a person 65 and older, for example, and you're on a fixed income, how do you afford something like a crown or a root canal or implants? These are thousands of dollars, in some cases $10,000 to get that kind of work done. So seniors are seeing this and they're becoming dismayed. And remember, this is not a mansion and cinema thing. Sure, they've blocked it in the Senate, but it was gutted in the House. The second thing, prescription drug prices, being able to negotiate them. I think that's a huge miss for Democrats in the House. Again, taken out and scaled down and gutted in the House before it went to the Senate. Tuition-free community college, remember that? That was in Build Back Better, right? Again, taken out and gutted in the House. Democrats in the House, Congresspeople, need to be able to build consensus. They have to bring people together and explain why these are important, and we absolutely have to deliver on these for the American people. This is going to be extremely important to win over voters that have come out and voted for Democrats and got Biden in. And when they heard, he's at least at a minimum going to eliminate $10,000 of student loan debt or cancel $10,000, that absolutely needs to happen. Because at some point voters are like, I've voted, I was told I was gonna get this and I'm not getting that, so why am I voting? That's extremely important. I believe for Democrats to deliver on. But the point I will leave you with this, in Texas specifically, if Democrats want to have a crying, chance of winning some of these statewide races, they must bring a strong economic message that also touches rural Texans. And this is the reason why we are number one with the most number of people with no health insurance and no health care. We are number one in rural hospital closures in Texas. So we are not delivering on the basic needs of Texans. And if Democrats can come in and deliver on those promises, then they have a really amazing opportunity at winning Texas.
Okay, I think it's a great point and really important to the future, not just of Texas, but Democrats nationally, is that Texas Democrats do well. I couldn't agree more with the points you're making. Hope that the national Democrats listen, and excited to talk to you more as the race proceeds. I'll close by saying, as I normally do, if people are watching this, what can they do to get involved in your candidacy?
So, we have only several weeks left. If you're in the Austin, Texas area and you would like to support our campaign, we are hiring right now. So reach out to our campaign, send us an email if you're interested in helping us reach out to voters and contact them. These are paid positions. If you know someone in Austin, please ask them to vote, to come out and vote, to know about the fact that we have a primary going on, because there's so little light on this primary because we don't have a presidential race, right? And of course, if you can, please donate. I'm a grassroots candidate. We have enough budget to win this race, but we have to, raise some more money in order to get our message out. So if you can donate, whether it's $1, $5, or maybe you can do more, we would really, really appreciate it. And you know one thing, John, we came in #1 in all of Texas in voter turnout. So you know that if you're a donor, we're gonna be using your money effectively. We're gonna get out our message, and we have an amazing chance at winning this. Austin is a completely new city over the last 10, 15 years. It is now the 11th largest city in the entire country. Wow. So the demographics of Texas has changed significantly. 95% growth, right? Of Hispanics, Black and Asian Americans. So Austin wants and needs brand new representation. It's a new district, right? This is an opportunity, and it's a once in a several decade opportunity to put in brand new representation and really get someone in Congress that's not just going to co-sponsor bills, that's just not going to campaign on things, but actually go in there, organize Congress, build people, bring people on board, and build consensus to get things like single payer Medicare for all passed, debt-free education, and student loan elimination. And that's what I plan to do if I get to Congress, and I won't stop until we get it done.
Awesome. It's a great point to end on. Always glad to talk to you. Thank you for joining us again, and be sure to reach out as the race proceeds, Donna. As always, thank you.
Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.